Ladies and gentlemen, a very special welcome to the Mayor of Newcastle-under-Lyme. Terry is here, but his wife is busy doing other things. But welcome to all of you. And in fact, all of you, you may not realise it, have got some connection with one another. Maybe it's only through friendship with me, I don't know. But a lot of the people in this room have helped me in my career or whatever to write a book of this nature. Some people that are here have given pots to my dear friend Angela here, and there are really 2 points I want to make. I mean, Malcolm has made most of them for me, so I don't need to say very much. But I want to make 2 points this evening, and really that's the reason for writing the book in 2000. First of all, the sanitary ware industry as an element of the pottery industry. I mean, pottery has been made for 5,000, 10,000 years. But sanitary ware is comparatively new, relatively new. And it only started in 1848. And in 1848, the Twyford family had a plant in Bath Street, in Hanley, less than 4 miles from here, and they turned their domestic pottery plant over entirely to sanitary ware. Everybody was making the bowls to go inside the toilets that were available at the time, which were mostly made of cast iron or bronze, and Wedgwoods, Spode, all of these people made the bowls, but nobody put the whole lot together. So first of all, we have the start of the world's sanitary ware production right here in Stoke-on-Trent. Secondly, Mr. Twyford and his father Thomas Twyford and Thomas William Twyford were working very closely to design the WC that we all know and love, whatever, which has got a bowl, it's got a trap to keep the stinks of sewers away, and it's got a pedestal to make it easy to clean. Mr. Twyford put this whole lot together as one piece, and he called that, by uniting it, he called that a unitas. And the unitas toilet was the first one-piece toilet anywhere in the world. So people may talk about crapper, forget it, he was a plumber and he didn't invent anything. Mr. Twyford invented the one-piece loo. So those are 2 things that I personally feel, and when I was writing that book I was very much involved with it. I started my life at Twyford. But 2 things, we started the industry here, we made the first one-piece closet here. So those are 2 things that I feel in this area we ought to be very proud of. Stoke-on-Trent, a lot of the industry's gone down, but this is something we started. Okay, it's around the world now, but it's something we started. So that was my first major reason for writing the book. Just let me blow my nose because I haven't had a glass of wine yet. You want to take a photograph of me blowing my nose? I might just say, by the way, that if Terry's taking a photograph, we've got an article going into Staffordshire Life, and they can't have their photographer here today because she has a baby and she has to be home at 3. So Terry and lots of other people are taking pictures. I'll send them all down and they will pick out what they want to put in their magazine. Anyway, to come back to Twyford. So we say, why write a book? I've told you why I write a book. The other why, and the other question I want to answer, is why Munroe Blair? You know, who the hell am I to write a book? Well, I started my life studying architecture, the same as a young man here. And I was persuaded to join a company called Twyford's by a man called Arthur Victor Pimble. And Arthur Victor Pimble was the technical designs director of Twyford's. And Mr. Pimble was the only director in the company that had ever worked directly for Mr. Twyford, Mr. T.W. Twyford. And just a quick aside, Mr. Twyford lived at Whitmore Hall, Friday, young Pimble got on his bike and rode down to Whitmore Hall with the wages for the 7 staff there. And it's a long drive up to Whitmore Hall, I don't know if you know. As you go up there, the head waiter, or whatever you would call him, the head of the household, used to see him coming up and welcomed him with a glass of wine and a piece of cake. And so he downed those and drove his bike home. So Arthur Victor Pimble was the man that had a direct link with Mr. Twyford, and Mr. Pimble employed me. So that really is the link that I'm offering to you today. I am a link through Mr. Twyford to, through Mr. Pimble to Mr. Twyford. But there's a very much more important link in this room. Years ago, Mr. Pimble was a wonderful guy. I won't go into a lot of detail, but he was very, very good to me. And in fact, at the time of petrol rationing, he got a director's amount of petrol, and he came and offered petrol to me. You're a young chap, you want to be going out, and one day I was in the Young Conservatives, and Ricardo was going around fields out in the sticks, and the bulls started to come towards us. And the whole group of us there, so everybody wanted out of this field pretty quickly. And all these young girls were in their lovely dirndl skirts. And I can always remember one particular lady, or several of them, they were the old girls, who we used to call the Olds. And they got these dirndl skirts and stuffed them down the blue pants and over the fence. And the next morning I go to work, and Mr. Pimble says, I believe you saved my daughter's life last night. So this direct link I'm talking about. We have a lady here who is the daughter of Victor Pimble. We also have the son of Victor Pimble. So that's a far closer link to Mr. Twyford through Mr. Pimble to these two young folks here. So ladies and gentlemen, we have books to sell, as Malcolm suggested. Angela is here. Angela is manager of the museum. And I want to thank her particularly because when I did the first book, Angela and I went through, you don't know what's available in this place. There's an archive full of very, very beautiful pieces of ware. They can't show them all. But Angela and I went grubbing through this lot and photographed them, and that's where most of these photographs have come from. So thank you, Angela, in front of everybody, thank you. She also made it responsible for me to be getting a few bob for doing the technical side of the museum here. So that was very nice. Poor old Terry was working at the time for Twyford, so he wasn't paid, you see, but I was by Stoke, which was good. So thank you, Angela, but more important, thank you all for being here. It's been lovely to see you all, and I just hope you buy a book. And if you wish me to, I'd be only too delighted to scribble on the cover one. Thank you very much for being here. Enjoy the rest of the wine, enjoy the crisps, and buy a book. Thank you very much indeed.